Buildings have been destroyed in Taiwan after a massive magnitude 7.2 earthquake struck the island. The quake has also prompted tsunami warnings for southwestern Japan. North Asia correspondent James Oaten joins us now from Tokyo. James, what is the latest? Well, as you mentioned, a magnitude 7.2 quake struck Taiwan. Now that had an intensity of around 5 or 6 for most of the parts of Taiwan. This earthquake struck the eastern part of Taiwan near Hualien City. So Taipei, the capital, is in the northern coast, but that certainly felt the quake as well, given how powerful it was. Most of the damage that we are seeing so far is from that regional town of Hualien City. We have seen that there are buildings that have been knocked off their foundations, so they're not fully collapsed. At least the footage we've seen so far does not show fully collapsed buildings, but we can see that they've come off their foundations and they're leaning quite dangerously. There are reports now as well of people who are trapped in those buildings, and there are a lot of power outages as well. As I mentioned, this quake was still felt in Taipei. We've had a lot of things have been knocked off the walls up there as well, and there's also now new footage of one of the train lines up there that seems to be knocked off. It's come unhinged. So trains across the island there have now ceased operations, and people had to walk away from the train lines after the earthquake that happened. We interrupt this program for a breaking news update on the Taiwan earthquake. I'm your host, Alex Thompson, reporting live from our newsroom. As you can see behind me, our screen is showing footage of the devastating aftermath of the 7.2 magnitude earthquake that has just struck Taiwan. Buildings have been knocked off their foundations and are leaning dangerously. There are reports of people trapped and widespread power outages. We've also received footage of train lines that have been unhinged due to the quake, causing island-wide disruptions. We have online Dr. Emily Fields, a seismologist and earthquake expert, to help us understand the situation. Dr. Fields, can you give us some insights into what we're seeing here? Insert Dr. Fields' response. Thank you, Dr. Fields. We will continue to keep you updated as more information is available. Stay tuned for more updates on this developing story. As well as for Japan, well, as you mentioned, there is a tsunami warning now in place for the Okinawan Islands. These are the islands in the far southern parts of Japan, very close to Taiwan. A tsunami of up to 3 meters is now anticipated to hit the Okinawan Islands. We're just waiting to see how big that tsunami will actually be. All right, James, thank you for the update.